Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. I thought this morning we'd just take you around with us. We had major storms last night. We're going to check on the gardens and see how everything is doing after those downpours that we had. Just showed you a little clip there of all the stuff that Lisa's got planted in our little backyard that spilled over from the garden. She's really turned this place into an edible acres. So let's get on to it and check on the gardens and feed some animals. Thanks for stopping in. Looks like the only thing that really took a beating in the raised beds are the potatoes. Those things were up about 4 feet tall in the beds, but it's time for them to start dying back anyhow, and they've started on the bottoms a little bit, turning yellow. So it's not going to hurt them at all, and they may stand up a little bit as the sun gets on them today. But they're probably a couple of weeks away from harvesting, which is one of our favorite things to do. Lisa told me the other day it's her favorite thing to do in the garden because it's so fun digging those potatoes up. Everything else seems to be looking pretty good though, so let's get on down, check on the pigs, and then we'll check on the big garden. Hey buddy. Hey buddy. It's a pig's paradise out here. Where's your boat?
By the tree.
Nope, I got your big spider web. I think he's on me. Oh! There you go. Let me see it. No sign of heat. Samson. He sounds like a two-stroke motor. You ready to eat? Dixie. Daisy first.
Dixie. And then Rosie.
Rosie. What did I do with that tool? Oh, I left it over here. Let's get the water out of here.
Says I'm starving.
All right, let me sit it back down. Well, girl.
Rosie, give him the brand.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Take out. Come on, over here. Over here. Up, over here. Over here. Up. Here it is. Here it is. Oh! He's a good pig. Y'all can see I got my 6x6 in the ground here yesterday. Going to come off of the facing of this building with a shed roof. Got a scab on this other one over here, but this is a true 6x6. Thing ain't going nowhere. Got some homemade stain down on the bottom. It's gonna make a nice addition to this farrowing barn. Oh no, he's ready to eat. We're coming. Let me shut her back up. All right, spider webs. All right, boy. Get him over here. Hey, what are you doing? Good thing that fence is off. Oh! Oh! Hey!
You're too slow.
I am too slow. Look how clean he is for it being an inch of rain last night or whatever we had. Look how clean this boy is. He's getting big too. Getting real big. Won't be long, he'll be old enough to start breeding. About another month or two. We're real tickled with Samson turning into a good looking boar. So when we get done with this extension on the barn, we're going to come into the chute area closest to the outlet gate, and there's going to be a set of live weight scales. And what we'll do is when we have weaned piglets ready to sell off these Herefords that we're raising, we'll run them across the live weight scale and we'll sell our stock by the pound. And the reason we do it that way is because that's how it's done in the standard industry. You'll see some people have ads on Craigslist, things like that. They'll have gilts for 100, boars for 50, I don't know, whatever it is, but you don't know really what you're getting. You know what you're getting when you come here because we're raising Herefords and our stock is fantastic. But you'll be, people that want to come buy Hereford piglets from us be paying by the pound for an 8-week-old weaned piglet. It's weaned, trained to electric, ready to go. You know what you're getting and you know what you're paying because you're paying by the pound. But that's the way to do it, y'all. There'll be a little shed roof over this, keep our scales dry so we don't have to worry about calibration issues. Let's get on down to the garden. Everything looks real good so far. Don't look like the storms hurt us. Let me get this top piece of gate. There's water on it, so I don't know about this. Okay, good. You hear it hitting? Where it's touching the ground. Look at that corn. It's up about 6 inches now. We'll have to come in here this week. Whenever it dries out a little bit, we'll come down here with the hose and we'll come along and chop out corn plants. Hate doing that, but we want them basically a foot apart. Anything much closer than that in this red clay, they just don't do that good. And if you get them too tight, old bad storm come through and lay it over. We've had that happen before. And we're hoping not to have laid over corn this year, which is why I planted it 36 plus inches on center so I can get the tractor and the disc killer in here and hill this corn good when it gets up about a foot tall. Foot or so, that way we can keep it hopefully from blowing over in thunderstorm. Check out those sunflowers back here behind you.
I know.
Come on in here. Please and thank you. Don't want to sound rude. That's my natural tone. Y'all, we pick about that. Everybody's got their own tone, and my tone has always been kind of, well, what'd you call it? Authoritative?
Yeah.
I think that's helped me in my line of work in the past here. Anyways. See our green beans, Blue Lake's coming up. They're actually filling in pretty good. A few spots it's going to be a little bare, but when you got 4 rows of them, it'll make up. I hate that I was running out of seed there. You know, I'm not worried about it because we got more planted up in the raised beds, but I kind of wish now I'd gone and got more seed and filled them in because I like looking at full rows. but it's gonna be good enough. 2 rows of butter beans up. You're happy about that, right?
Yay.
I'm happy about that. And our scarecrow there survived the storm last night. I think your tomatoes grew about 6 inches overnight with this rain. When it does dry up, we'll have weeds galore. Well, not galore, because those cover crops, they really help with that. There weren't many weeds in here when I tilled. It was mostly just radishes and greens and wheat. So that helps with that, but we'll see weeds start popping off now that we've had a good rain. This is the first good rain we've had since we planted this garden 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah.
So we'll look at the gauge. We might be able to tell the potato plants that covered the gauge, but I'm guessing we probably had 1 inch of rain from the looks of it, which is good. We needed it. And this bottom ground down here, it'll hold that moisture. So even though it's fairly shaded in here because of all the leaf canopy, it gets about 4 good hours of solid sun during the days the sun's going across, and it has been enough to keep our vegetables healthy and growing good in the past several years. Eventually we'll clear some of this out so we've got more light coming in, and of course you know we're going to expand this garden by taking down a bunch up here so we can get more of that evening sun. Right now this garden gets
Midday sun,
which is great. Everything seems to be thriving. You look at those rows of tomatoes. About up to my waist now. So they're looking good. Pepper plants are looking really good. Let's see if you got any cucumbers up. Oh, first. Yep, okra, I can't even talk.
Okra?
Okra's trying to come up. I think we're gonna need to replant a little bit of it so we can get a full row. Planted it probably about 2 weeks too early, honestly. It needs to be a little bit warmer. But it's coming up. I just not real happy with it at the moment. Yeah, we need to replant. There's just not enough for what we're looking. We'll do that when it dries out this week. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. So far there's only 3 plants up, and I don't know if that's the ones I planted or you planted.
That's the ones that were trying to come up. The only ones that were trying to come up from where you had planted them to Timbuktu. So the ones that I planted have only been, it's only been a few days since I planted them.
But they'll come up now because of this rain. All right, let's go check on the chickens. The chickens have been getting daily moves now for quite a while. When we first put them out here for the first few days, it was every other day, but they're big enough to be moving them. They are 5 weeks old now. I don't know if you can see in there too good. I'm not going to open the door up. But they're looking good. Nice and chunky. And we still have 31. 31, we started with 31 and we still have 31. That's why we like these Rangers, y'all. They can take it. They're tough. They're not tough when you cook them, they're tender. But they're tough chickens. They can handle this outside, outdoor weather and all the feed intake they're getting. So let's go in here and take a look at the Golden Friars. They're about 3 or 4 days from getting put out into their new chicken hut, while we're waiting on another batch to incubate and hatch that we're rearing up for my parents to raise out for meat. You know what? Second thought. I'm not going to show you those birds until we put them out into the new coop, because I want that to be something you're looking forward to, because I'm going to tell you, these birds are beautiful. All right, guys, that little video is going to end it for us for the day. It's nasty and wet outside. Really not a whole lot that we can get accomplished as far as building projects or things like that. Hit the old thumbs up for us, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and if you have, y'all, we appreciate it. hopefully this coming week the weather will be pretty good and we can get out here and do some cultivating and finish up some building projects. We'll see you on the next video, guys. Have a good day.